What's that shaking? Why is your check engine light on? And why does it feel like your car might just stall out every time you hit a red light? If your car is acting out, the culprit might be hiding in plain sight. I'm talking about your throttle body. A part that can cause a cascade of confusing problems that will have you chasing your tail and wasting money on parts you don't need. Today, we're breaking down the 5 most common symptoms of a bad throttle body. Pay close attention to number 3, because that's the one that tricks almost everyone. Let's get your car running smoothly again. What is a throttle body? Before we diagnose the problems, let's quickly understand the part. Think of your throttle body as the gatekeeper of your engine's air supply. It's that metal housing sitting between your air filter and the engine manifold. Inside, there's a plate that pivots open and shut. When you stomp on the gas pedal, this plate swings wide open, allowing a massive gulp of air to rush into the engine for power. When you're just idling at a stoplight, it holds perfectly still at a tiny, precise crack to let in just the right amount of air. Most modern cars have an electronic throttle body. There's no cable. Instead, a small motor, commanded by your car's main computer, moves the plate with absolute precision. It's a brilliant system, until it starts to fail. The 5 symptoms you can't ignore. Alright, let's get into the real-world signs that your throttle body is screaming for attention. Think of this as your car's way of sending you text messages, and you're about to learn exactly how to read them. When this crucial part starts to fail, it doesn't just give up all at once. It sends you clear, progressive warnings. Symptom 1. The check engine light. This is your car's most universal signal that something is wrong. But when it comes to the throttle body, it's not just a random warning, it's a specific cry for help. Here's what's happening inside your engine's brain. Your car's computer, often called the ECU or PCM, is a brilliant but strict manager. It's constantly having a conversation with the throttle body, checking its performance hundreds of times per second. It asks, are you in the right position? Are you moving smoothly? Is your sensor reporting correctly? The moment the answer to any of these questions is no, the computer flips on the check engine light. It's not trying to scare you, it's telling you it's detected a problem it can't fully compensate for. Now, if you plug in a simple code reader, you might see codes like P0121, which means the throttle position sensor is giving a signal that doesn't make sense. Or P0220, which points to a problem in the sensor's electrical circuit. Another common one is P2119, which tells you the throttle body motor is stuck or not responding properly. A check engine light related to the throttle body is your official invitation to investigate. It's not a reason to panic, but it is a reason to pay attention. Ignoring this light is like ignoring a check engine light on an airplane. Maybe everything is fine for now, but you definitely want to know what's going on before you take off on a long trip. Symptom 2. Sluggish acceleration hesitation. You know that instant, powerful feeling when you press the gas pedal in your car leaping forward? When your throttle body starts failing, that feeling disappears, replaced by something frustrating and potentially dangerous. Imagine you're trying to merge onto a busy highway. You press the gas, expecting power, but instead there's a hollow, lazy feeling. The car feels like it's thinking about it, hesitating for a second or two before finally deciding to accelerate. This delay is more than just annoying. It can be a real safety hazard when you need power now. So why does this happen? In modern electronic throttle bodies, there's a small but powerful electric motor that's responsible for snapping the throttle plate open when you command it. When this motor begins to wear out or get weak, it simply can't move the plate as quickly as it used to. It's like the motor is getting tired and needs an extra moment to gather its strength. The other common cause is simple dirt. Over tens of thousands of miles, oily vapors from the engine create a sticky, black carbon buildup around the throttle plate and its housing. This gunk acts like glue, making the plate physically stick in place. When you press the gas, the motor has to fight through this resistance, causing that noticeable hesitation before the plate finally breaks free and opens up. Symptom 3. Rough idle. This is perhaps the most common and noticeable symptom of throttle body trouble. You've experienced it. That annoying shake and shudder when you're stopped at a red light, with the RPM needle bouncing up and down like it can't make up its mind. Here's the science behind the shake. When your car is idling, the throttle plate isn't completely closed. It's held open at an incredibly precise, paper-thin crack. This allows just the right amount of air to enter the engine for a smooth, stable idle. But when carbon buildup accumulates around the edge of the throttle plate, it disrupts this perfect airflow. It's like trying to breathe through a straw that has gunk around the edges. You get uneven, turbulent airflow. Your engine's computer is desperately trying to maintain the perfect air-fuel mixture, but with the airflow constantly changing because of the buildup, it's fighting a losing battle. This leads to what mechanics call a rough idle, your engine stumbling and shaking because it's not getting consistent airflow. In severe cases, this can even cause misfires, where the fuel in a cylinder doesn't ignite properly. You might also notice your idle RPMs sitting higher than normal, maybe around 1,500 RPM when the car is fully warmed up. This is your computer's backup plan. It's deliberately opening the throttle plate a bit wider to try to get around the dirty edges and stabilize the engine. It's a smart temporary fix, but it's not a solution. Symptom 4. Unexpected engine stalling. This is where a minor annoyance becomes a major problem. You're slowing down for a stoplight, you press the brake, and just as you come to a complete stop, your engine dies. The sudden silence is alarming, and that, oh no, feeling hits you immediately. Why does this happen specifically when stopping? Because that's when your throttle body is working at its most precise, minimal setting. When you're driving, the throttle plate is open wide, and plenty of air is flowing through. But at idle, that opening is at its absolute smallest. We're talking about a gap barely thicker than a piece of paper. When enough carbon gunk builds up around the throttle plate edges, it can completely block this tiny but crucial air passage. With the minimum required air supply cut off, your engine literally suffocates and stalls. It's similar to holding your breath. You can function for a while, but eventually you need to breathe. The important pattern to recognize is that this stalling almost always happens when coming to a stop, not while you're driving down the road. If your car is stalling during acceleration or at higher speeds, you're likely dealing with a different problem altogether. Symptom 5. Limp mode or no start issue. When your car's computer determines that the throttle body has become completely unreliable, it takes drastic action to protect both you and the engine. This is when you experience the terrifying limp mode. Limp mode is your car's way of saying, I'm hurt, but I can still get you home safely. When this safety feature activates, you'll notice several things immediately. Your check engine light is on. Your RPMs won't go above 2,000 to 3,000 no matter how hard you press the gas, and you won't be able to shift into higher gears. You're basically limited to crawling speed, enough to get off a busy highway or to a repair shop, but not enough for normal driving. But the absolute worst case scenario is the crank or no start condition. This personally happened to me, and it's baffling until you understand what's going on. You turn the key, hear the starter motor cranking normally, but the engine simply won't fire up and run. The reason is simple but dramatic. The throttle plate is stuck completely shut. With no air entering the engine, there can be no combustion. It's exactly like trying to light a candle inside a sealed glass jar. Without oxygen, you get nothing. This is why a severely failed throttle body can leave you completely stranded until it's cleaned or replaced. The progression from a simple check engine light to a complete no-start condition shows why paying attention to these early warnings is so crucial. Your car talks to you. You just need to know how to listen. Conclusion. So, if your car is showing you any of these 5 signs, a check engine light, sluggish acceleration, a rough shake at idle, stalling, or worst of all, limp mode, your throttle body is suspect number 1. The fix can often be as simple as a good cleaning, which I have explained in my previous video. So, if you want to see exactly how to safely clean and reset your throttle body, make sure you're subscribed. If this video helped you diagnose your car problem, pay it forward and hit that like button. It really helps the channel. And if you have your own throttle body story, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, drive smart, and I'll see you in the next video.